This is fight 280. It's up in Kandong area of Buriram, which is in the northeast. It's Isan. And it's a temple fight or a festival fight. All these people are looking for parking or coming back to their cars. We had to park pretty far away. Festival fights can be really big, and they'll always have these really huge fluorescent sprays like flowers in order to, as you're driving through the darkness at night, and just these wide open fields, when you get to these, you know there's a festival fight. And Kevin and I used to joke when we see them, when we're on our way somewhere else, we're like, oh, we should stop in and see if they have an opening for me to fight. Because very, very often, most often, they do have a ring for fighting. And temples are kind of like social centers of rural Thailand. So there'll just be fields and fields and fields of nothing. And then there's a temple, and that temple is kind of like the social hub of that area of Thailand. It kind of pulls people together. So when you have a festival like this, it's pulling people as this like social event. Maybe like the state fair or something in the 50s in America. I'm not that old, so I don't really know. I'm just saying from movies. I saw the ring and I tried to get to it from this side, but I couldn't. So you kind of have to like navigate your way through on your way finding there. But usually you can hear the loudspeakers. You can hear them talking in a way that when you're familiar, you know they're talking about Muay Thai, and I couldn't hear that. But we actually showed up late because there were so many fights on this card, and I was like right in the middle of it. So we came 2 hours later than when it was said to start, because we thought that would be a good bet for arriving just a little bit before my fight. And when we got there, the fights had not even started yet. But I'm just gonna weave through the crowd here. And there's always a stage show, like there's always music. Sometimes there's a traditional stage opera called like, but there's always music with dancers. And usually it's going simultaneous with the fighting. These dancers are a huge thing. Like, people come to gawk at scantily clad dancers during the singing bits. But there you can see the ring, so we're working our way back there. They'll say what time the fight is supposed to start, or the fights are supposed to start, and they have things that are called gonwela, which means like before time, and those are usually young kids or something like that, and they're not even really on the card, they're like before the official start. And I think it's kind of like live streams or something, like you wait until there are enough people and then you start the show. So I'm not sure what they were waiting for, why they started so late, but maybe they were waiting for more people to show up, or they were waiting for intermission with the stage show or something like that. I'm not sure. But you just try to like weave your way and find a place where you want to put your mat down. So Turkiet, this is Turkiet. He's a fighter from the Golden Age. He's who set up this fight for me. He found me in the back, saying hi to Kevin. These kids were playing on this like merry-go-round. Turkiet is turning and telling me, Sylvie, ben Derm Pon na? So Derm Pon is a side bet. It means that both sides of who's fighting in the fight put in money, and whoever wins takes all of it. So it's a winner takes all 50-50 bet. And he's letting me know that there's a side bet because that's just kind of a way of being like, hey, there's a scout in the audience tonight. It's like a way to make the fight more, what's the word? Like, you cannot get tired and stop kind of thing. Like, people are putting money on it, so you have a responsibility to the people who are putting money in the pot for your fight. So he's just letting me know that there's a Derm Pon on this fight. And for me, Derm Pons are really good because it means that the opponent is going to be giving it her all as well. It means usually that they've been training and gearing up for this fight, because people don't put money into a pot that they intend on losing. So it's a way to make fights more competitive. Often when you go to festival fights or something and a fight is coming on that people are a little bit excited about, the first question they'll ask is, "Mi Derm Pon mai?" Like, is there a Derm Pon on this? Because then they know whether the fighters are both taking it very seriously, and then they know whether they want to place any kind of bet on it. Sometimes they want to put money in the Derm Pon, so the Derm Pon can actually grow while you're there, and sometimes they're just going to be looking at the odds, but they know that the fighters are going to be fighting really hard. These kids were just jumping on this ride. It's not automated, like there's no motor. I don't know if it got moved from somewhere else in the festival, but they were self-propelling it and playing on it. And there was a guy who was working it who every time an empty carriage came around, he'd take it off just as a way to put it away. So Turkiet was really excited about me using elbows in this fight. When he sent me the name of my opponent, I looked her up and I only found one video of her, and I sent it to him and I'm like, which one is she in this video? And he's like, she's the blue one. And so he was convinced that she was, we both thought she was southpaw and that she really just kicked left a lot. And so he's telling me to block that left kick, get in close, grab her, and elbow. He was like way into this game plan. My opponent was not who was in that video. I don't know if she had the same first name, and so that's how we ended up getting the wrong video or something, but she wasn't southpaw. She was significantly bigger than what they said. But even though she turned out to be so much bigger than I thought she was going to be, they kept the Derm Pon, and the Derm Pon kept growing while I was there. So that was interesting. People just hang out and watch the fights. We had these people on the mat next to us. They must have had like 5 fighters on this show. Again, there's like 40 fights on this show. And they just kept jumping up and getting excited and wrapping their kids. Like, people were coming and taking photos with me because they'd actually seen me the last time I was in Kandong province. So I fought with Turkiet's blessing, whatever. He came and was my corner. He's the one who set up the fight just before New Year. And so people have seen me in this province about 2 months ago, and they were coming and taking photos with me. So now I'm on deck. When you're on deck, you go and you sit on the VIP stage. So that's my opponent sitting in the chair in the front there. And Turkiet's kind of like guiding me up there. And you just wait. Like, you usually see the entire fight before yours, maybe 2, but usually not 2 because those other people would be on deck too. But you just need to be ready for there to be a knockout or something, and you just kind of like go on right away. When you get up on the stage, you're now being looked at by everybody, so it's a little bit of a self-conscious kind of thing. But usually the VIP stage has government heads, like local government heads. Sometimes there's monks. So when you're getting up there, you need to be a little bit aware of like being respectful to the people who you're sitting in front of or who you're passing or that kind of thing. So this guy standing up next to my opponent, who Turkiet just blocked, was kind of like asking my opponent, like, oh, can you fight her or whatever, blah, blah, blah. These old men, these guys are like in their 60s, and they had a fight right before ours, and this guy got knocked out and like cut between his eyebrows. I was like, what? It was a little bit of an intense old man fight. Usually they're a little bit like, they don't take it lightly, but they're usually quite old, so they don't try to do like really harsh things to each other. It was a little bit shocking to see an elbow cut KO in a like 60-year-old man fight. They're called like highlight fights. Just a little bit walking through. A lot of times it's just people waiting for their turn to fight. So there's 40 fights on this show, which means that's 80 fighters. 80 fighters came to fight here, and 1 by 1, 2 by 2 getting into the ring. Kevin is setting up kind of amidst the gamblers to film from here because he couldn't get into my corner. But that's actually a very cool vantage point because these are the people who are going to be yelling and screaming and getting excited about the fight. We were the first women to fight, and both our corners are familiar with women fighting. Like, one of the guys in my corner has a daughter who's fighting later in the night, but they totally just completely forgot to put our moncons on, like both of us. So this is one of maybe 2, maybe 3 times I've ever fought without a moncon, and it's just because my corner and her corner completely forgot to do it. This will happen a lot in festival fights, and sometimes it'll happen in permanent stadia as well. VIPs will come in and they'll put these garlands on you. You just bow your head for them to put it on. If you're wearing your moncon, you want to try to get it around the tail, just as a pro tip there. And then they take these photos, right? So they line you all up. They have these VIP figureheads get in the photo. And usually it's just like a phone camera or something, but sometimes there's like a news person who's taking a photo. This referee saw Kevin's camera, and he just told Kevin, like, hold on a second, we're gonna take photos this way first. And then he turns us so that Kevin can get a photo too, because he didn't know why Kevin was filming. But it's very nice that he was like aware of him and thought of him. See how he's gonna make us all turn now for Kevin's photo? That's really nice. That's really nice. I was so impressed by this referee. I'm going to brag about this referee for a second. I was fight number 22, and they moved me ahead a little bit. I think I probably ended up fighting fight number 19 or 20. He's been in the ring the entire time. That's like 3 hours of being the referee in a ring. And people are knocking each other out. The men before me, it was a cut knockout. He keeps being on the ring the entire time, and his eyes are so good. He's aware of everything. He's super alert the entire time. It is mentally exhausting to be a referee that many fights in a row, and he continued being a referee the rest of the night. So now Turkiet is like gonna put my Monkan on, but they're starting the Ram Muay. So I end up not getting it. I could have just taken it at that moment, but Ram Muay is starting. You wear it when you do the Ram Muay. I should have just waited and let him put it on. When you're on stage, it's a little bit self-conscious. Like everyone's watching you, so you're aware of like everything that's happening while everyone is staring at you. And between the two of us, I know most people are staring at me because I'm the farang, I'm the tatted up one, I'm the little one. So I was a little bit self-conscious there. You'd think I'd get over that after fighting so many times, but it's hard to lose. So Turkiet had just run across the stage to give money to a guy who's on the guy who's doing the announcements, like the MC. He's adding to the Derm Pon. So he ran across the ring to add money to the Derm Pon as we're in the ring doing our Ram Muay. She was very clearly not who I'd seen in the video, but when she arrived, they had us like stand next to each other, which they'll do. They'll like make you stand up and be like shoulder to shoulder to see how the bet's gonna go, if the Derm Pon's gonna stay, if they're gonna add to it, this kind of thing. And I was just shocked at how tall and big she was. Turkiet had told me she's 48 kilos, which I assumed meant she was maybe 50, because people, they're never the size that they say they are. So I'm like, that's maybe 50, 51. She's like 55, 56, and tall. So it was a little bit of a shock for me, just because it was not what I was expecting, but I've fought this size before. This is not my norm, like this is not my average. That's quite a bit bigger, that's like 10 kilos bigger than me. But I've done that before. I can just see what's gonna happen. Like I know how to deal with bigger fighters. You have to be more patient. You have to kind of like work patiently to wear them down and kind of keep trying to move them, because they're very hard to move when they're that much bigger than you, but they will move eventually. You need to stay close. I thought she was gonna be southpaw, totally different person. It's a completely different person. So Turkiet's game plan, my whole thought process and how I was gonna deal with the southpaw, very different. I kind of messed up my stalking part in my Ram Muay. I got nervous and I kind of got flipped around. It doesn't look that bad there. I was very aware of it when I was doing it in the ring, but it actually looked okay there. He's asking me if I have my mouthpiece in. In festival fights, you are supposed to wear a mouthpiece, but they don't care if you take it out, whereas at like a stadium fight, you can get docked points if you spit your mouthpiece out. So she's got these big old legs. You can see our size difference right here. Her plan, her good plan, is to kick me, because she's got a big kick, big legs. Anytime she touches me, you can hear the crowd cheering. She's got big punches. I was kind of annoyed with myself because I was blocking them, like they weren't reaching my face, but I'm turning my head. And I know better than that. I was just nervous, so I was like bouncing out. So this is something I need to kind of work on, is like keep tucked, like boom, stay tucked and keep my guard up. Because my guard's good, I'm just turning away, which is making me lose distance. And fighting someone big, you really just want to get inside that pocket ASAP and stay there. Her plan is to intimidate me, which is a very, very good plan early in a fight, because then I'll start staying at the wrong distance. My main plan, my adjusted plan upon seeing her, was just staying closer. So I'm trying to like teeping as a forward fighter or as a shorter fighter, you're actually just kind of juggling someone a little bit. She slipped a little bit there. She has a good, like, she takes whatever it is that I'm firing at her and comes back with like 3 things. This is a pretty good plan. See how she has this 1-2 on top of anything I throw at her? I caught her kick there, and this is the first time we engage in the clinch, and she actually goes way up on her toes. She's already like 5 inches taller than me, and she goes up on her toes, which is, it's very hard to like break her root at that point. There are things that you can do that I will do later, but that was a very good initial clinch exchange. If you're a clincher like me, it's a good idea to clinch early because then you feel whatever their solves are early and get past them so that you can solve their solves. Everyone is very excited about her size at this point, but I start getting the atomic squirrel. I'm getting around her, I'm spinning around her. We get a little bit caught in the ropes here. The ref lets it go, which is really nice. He was a very, very good ref in terms of allowing clinch to develop. He only breaks it when we get stagnant, when she puts her knee up like that, but I'm stuck in the corner, so even though I had a strong start to that clinch exchange, she ultimately won the last moment of it by having me pinned against the corner. So I'm getting a good position here across her face to keep her from being able to just lock and hold. A lot of Thai girls have a good stagnation in the clinch, which is just to squeeze and hold. These guys in my corner were so sweet. So the guy in the like Japanese shirt, he has a daughter who's probably like 15 or 16, and she was fighting later this night. I really like him. Turkey stays on the outside. He's like the head honcho. He had been talking to me so much leading into the fight about what he wanted me to do. And I think he was actually just really nervous that I wasn't going to fight, that I was going to be scared and like stay too far away because she's so much bigger. So he was really concerned about it, and he just kept talking to me about what he wanted me to do. And finally he said to me at some point something about yom. Yom is to like relent or to give up. And I like record scratched, and I looked at him and I said, Azan, I do not yom anybody. She could be 70 kilos, I'm not going to yom. And he was like, God. He kind of chilled out a little bit after that, which was really good. But he's basically telling me that he wants me to lock her because that's where my most dominant moment in that round was. So he's telling me to basically go back to that element of the fight. Get in there, lock her, try to land knees. Lui lui. So lui in Thai is to like go get him, like go forward, lui. So the guy in the Japanese shirt is like lui lui, like get in there. So they're telling me to execute my plan better, which is stay in better. So again, my block is keeping her from hitting my face. My face did not really get hit. And I'm a little bit more forward in this round than I was, and I'm trying to fire at the same time as blocking. Every time she kicks me, just the size of her and those heavy legs, people get very excited. They really believe those kicks. They do hurt when they hit me. But this is the thing that you're fighting against as a smaller fighter or as a knee fighter. You're fighting against kicks, which are the highest scoring thing in Muay Thai. A kick to the middle. Knees to the middle also score really high, but you have to get in. So I'm actually kicking her legs, which makes me happy because we had just trained with Tong Chai the day before this for the Muay Thai Library. And he and Ajahn Metprik are way into leg kicks. And I trained with Ajahn Metprik before my last fight and didn't throw any leg kicks. So I'm super excited that I thought of and was like, I'm gonna hit those legs, those tree trunks. So I won that exchange as the one who got the last little knee and pin in. But I need to keep her off the ropes. I need to keep her in the middle. The ref is really good about not breaking for no reason, but he has a reason to break when we hit the ropes. So you can see I'm staying closer, like we're actually mitt to mitt here. These belts were kind of small. They were probably only like 6 to 8 ounces. That exchange is a little complicated because her knee is the one up on me, but I'm the one kind of on the outside. So you want to start exchanges and you want to finish exchanges. I got a nice lock on the inside here. I'm controlling inside her arm. So I have the side of her head and I've got a lock around the back of her head. I'm starting to peel her arms down. Because we're in the ropes, the ref comes and breaks that. I could have worked on that a little bit, but he was correct. We were against the ropes to pull that apart. So when we get into clinch exchanges like this, I'm trying to get positions. She's trying to throw me. The fact that she can't throw me actually looks really good for me because I'm so small. People are like, she should totally be able to throw her. So her not being able to throw me looks really good for me. If she turned me even a little bit, that would work against my size. It would be like, oh, look at how tiny she is. She can't actually fight this girl. Nice jab and 1-2. She got the first knee in there. I'm just trying to get a position where I can't get hit, but I can hit back. I win this exchange, but again, we're against the ropes, and so it just kind of becomes this kind of wash of like who got the last point in that exchange. I need to keep her more in the middle. One of my favorite things about festival fights is that the crowd comes right up against the apron of the ring. You can see all these little kids across the ring from me. You can watch their little faces all the way along the bottom of the rope. You just grow up watching Muay Thai. My corner was very excited. This was very good for me. Like, what I need from a corner is for their energy to read what it is that I need to do. If I come back to my corner and my cornermen are like nervous or upset, I'm like, I didn't win that round. What do I need to do? These guys were very excited. I think they were excited that I could stay in and handle someone bigger, that I wasn't scared. So they're excited about this. These first 2 rounds are pretty close. I think I took this round 2. Rounds 1 and 2 don't matter that much. You still want to win them, but they don't matter that much. But now it's getting into the scoring round, and I think they're excited because it's like, okay, she can handle a bigger opponent. I was feeling confident. I was like, I can handle this size. She'd thrown her hardest kicks at me already, and I had felt what that was. She got one in on my ribs that sucked. That was really, really painful. She landed 2, not clean, but like they landed on my body kicks that, oh, heavy, very, very heavy. Did not want more of those. That one I caught, but it like clipped my ribs. So now she's trying to control me. See how she's putting her weight down? I was able to trip her with this inside leg trip that Karahat and Trugai in the Muay Thai Library do. Those kicks are just massive though. I'm blocking them. None of those are getting in, and the crowd is cheering. I don't know if they're cheering me or they're cheering her. So Kevin's getting a bit excited, so we're gonna be off screen for a second. So I won that exchange there, it sounds like. She's doing the same thing she was doing in rounds 1 and 2, which is she's trying to intimidate me with punches, and then she'll try to land like a really big kick, but I'm actually checking all of her kicks now. None of them are getting in, and then I'm scoring when we get into the clinch here. She's trying to knee back, which is really good. She has lots of experience. Like, she tried to solve when I was going around her. We're in the ropes here, and he's not breaking it because the knees are happening. I'm getting a double plumb on her behind her head now, and I'm able to kind of pull her down. So you could hear, actually, if you time when you hear the roaring of the crowd, they were cheering my knees at that point because I got her in I was in such a dominant position there. I'm pinning her arm down, I'm turning her again. Being the small one, turning her, I get a lot of style points for that. Boy, her kick landed on me while I was trying to punch her there. A kick is better than a punch, so I think she got that. I have a good lock on her here, and I'm starting to really wear her down. I get behind her. Again, this is Atomic Squirrel where I spin behind. This is a very, very dominant position, and she's very good. She knows to try to like get out of that. I fought against girls who don't have a great deal of experience, and they don't even try to get out of it. They're just very frustrated because they've never done it in their gym. They've never had someone do that to them in training or in a fight. I got a nice little knee in the belly there. You can hear the guy in the Japanese shirt is yelling, "Lui, lui." They want me to just keep pressuring her, like I just need to stay on her. This will wear your opponent down. That was a nice knee right into the belly. I'm trying to get a little bit behind her again, and I can't. She's closing it off. So even though her knee is up on me, I'm pushing her against the ropes, so that's a good point for me. Coming back to the corner with my hand up, this is a Diesel Noi thing, to like never ever let your root fall. Look at the faces of the people down by my corner. These guys aren't in my corner. I don't know these people. These are gamblers, but they're very excited. And they're like talking to each other. I'm like, what's happening in the fight? This other guy in the Buriram shirt, so Turkia is leaning in and talking to me, and this other guy, I don't know him, but he's coming in and he's yelling at me about what he wants me to do. This is kind of an amazing thing about festival fights and how the gamblers and the crowd and the kids come right up to the corner. People will grab you and tell you what to do who like came out of nowhere. You'll literally have people you've never seen before telling you what to do, and sometimes they have good advice. So they're telling me to knee more. Like when I have her in a lock, they want repeat knees because I'm kind of just doing one and then there's a pause and sometimes she's kneeing me back. So they want more of a build-up. They want more of a like dominant, I got 3 unanswered knees on you. Very good advice. Very, very good advice for this kind of fight and for my style of fighting. Oh, starting out with those strong kicks, very good idea. Now she's trying to keep distance from me. She's got the kicks and the teeps. This is round 4. She lost round 3, so she really needs to kind of like pick up in this one. But I need to build because I won round 3. Now I need to build on that. I can't do what I just did. So here she's putting her hips in a lot, which is trying to keep me from being able to knee. So I have to off balance her and then land my knees. The crowd is cheering for me now. They were cheering for her kicks in the first 2 rounds, and now they're cheering for me. This is a way to tell how the odds are going without having like a gambling section, like in the big stadia. I got her around the waist, and I'm actually just bear hugging her. I'm literally just squeezing her to try to like wear her down a little bit. Look at how far she's pushing her hips in there to try to keep me to be able to land good knees on her. It's a really good tactic, especially when she's big like this. When I say she's big, I mean she's big compared to me. 55 kilos is not a big person. I don't want like body dysmorphia happening. I'm just very small. Look at this. She's putting her arms in a locked position but not actually locking them. That's because she's tired. I was having a hard time locking my hands because she's so much bigger than me, but if I had locked my hands in an inside position, this would have been over. So I'm peeling her arm down. See how I can't get my left arm down? I'm trying to like pull her off balance with it. Trying to get her. We're getting into the corner, which I need to stay off the ring. I climb up on top of her and did a little bit of a like Hanuman monkey cracks coconut. I crawled up on her and threw an elbow. It wasn't as clean as when I do it in training, just messing around, but it's cool that I tried to do it in a fight. Teep, teep. They're yelling for me to teep, which is to keep my distance and show that I'm already ahead. These exchanges are important because this is actually how I get any of my points, is from this like very close dragging around off balancing thing. Again, with this kind of size difference, the points get amplified in what you're doing. This dominant pushing her into the ropes like this as a small fighter is amplified by me being small. If she did the same thing to me, it would be amplified by me being small. It's like, obviously she's so strong. As an audience member, you put a lot of belief in someone's size. And as a smaller fighter, I actually have had a tendency in the past to, when I block, I fall off of my blocks. It makes it look like I ricocheted off of this huge opponent. And when I started weightlifting and kind of getting my back chain more built up, my balance has been much better in staying in off of those blocks, which is really good as a smaller fighter. It's been very helpful. Look at Turkey, like stroking my head. In Thailand, this is a very affectionate, sweet, kind of fatherly gesture. You don't want to touch people's heads who you don't know. It's rude. But as someone older than me and as someone who has responsibility over me, that stroking of my head right there was a very fatherly, affectionate, sweet thing for him to do. I think he's happy with how this fight is going. So it's round 5, and this gesture he's making right there, he's like, my bone. He's like, you don't have to do anything really significant. Like, it's round 5, basically, just keep your lead. Forgot my mouthpiece. I keep my mouthpiece in all the time. She stopped wearing hers. In festival fights, by the 5th round, a lot of people spit them out just because they think they can breathe better. I wear mine. I don't want to be bashed in the teeth. So my corner had told me to go for the first part of the round, which is a good way to fight a 5th round when you're ahead, is you don't want to chase, but you want to show dominance in the first part of the round, and then you can start pulling away. Because she wasn't really coming after me, I was just staying in as my dominance. See how I'm just kind of holding my ground here? And then I feel like if I can do something, that can be my, like, I did my one thing, and then I can start pulling away. I'm kind of creeping. Now I'm showing, look, she's not coming after me, and I put my hand up as like, she's not coming after me, I've already won this fight. She's smart to not come after me. If she chases after me and I do something big, that just makes the blowout even bigger. But I'm already, rounds 3 and 4 were mine, so I already won this fight. This guy's hand, this gambler's hand in front of Kevin is like, Mao, like, polao, this is enough already, you don't have to do anything. That's to me. So because she's not even trying to hit me anymore, I put my hand up as like, I've already won, and they cut this round short. This will happen in fights where it's like, there's obviously a winner already. We don't have to go through all the time when they're not gonna fight anymore. On TV, they don't fight anymore, but they have to go through the full 3 minutes. It's very boring in festival fights. Look at this hug that Turkiet gives me. That is very sweet. The announcer called me Sit Turkiet. Sit means student of. So if you see like a gym name that's like Sit Krudang or something, this means student of. So he was calling me Sit Turkiet, which is really sweet. And then they're taking photos after. This guy in the blazer is the promoter. I think that I met him at the last fight as well. The referee takes a photo with us. Everyone's very happy. And that's very nice when you get out of the ring and you're like moving through the crowd. People are like, yum, yum. And sometimes they'll come up and want to touch you because you're a field of merit now and they want to like take some of the luck. You're like a little lucky object moving through the crowd. At this festival fight, they gave me my kadua, which is your fight pay, in the ring. They just like hand it to you in the ring. Sometimes you have to go to a table or something and get paid afterwards, which is something that you need help doing if you don't speak Thai or if you've never been to a place before. It's nice to give it to you in the ring because they have so many fighters. You know you got paid and then you can leave. Because if you have like 80 fighters there all at once, that's a lot of people. Look at how happy Turkiet and the guy in the Japanese shirt are. They're the ones who put in the money for the Derm Pon, so they're the ones who just made money on this fight, so they're very excited. And as I was moving through these people, Kevin will come and find me, but as I was moving through, people wanted to shake my hand. It's the same thing as like when Westerners come to Thailand, they want to why everybody. They like why the person in 7-Eleven or the like 8-year-old in the gym. That's not really how they work. Thais really, especially in Assam, want to shake your hand. They're like, I know how to do the Western greeting, and they'll want to shake your hand, and sometimes they give you the left hand. It's very weird, but do them the exciting honor of shaking everybody's hand because they're very excited to be doing it. This is actually the temple, like right behind us over there. You saw that like lit up building. We're on temple grounds. And this will raise money for the temple. This festival probably lasted a couple of days, but all of these events, I don't think people pay to come in, but you pay for like the different rides and food and stuff like that. I think that raises money. The last fight I was at was to build a chetty. So here people are having me come take photos. This girl who's getting ready to fight, this is the daughter of the guy who is in my corner. And he had me come over and take a photo with his daughter. The winner usually gets all the garlands put on them for the photo. These are really nice. They reuse them though, so you don't get to take those home. They smell really good though. They're talking about the referee. They're talking about the referee breaking the fight, or breaking us when we got against the ropes.
Oh, baby. A big one.
Yeah, she was big. I split my shin again, but the other side.
I forgot about this. I split my left shin on a block, and I don't care. I can't feel my shins. Like I literally don't feel my shins. But my corner man started freaking out in round 4, trying to make the blood stop, and I'm like, I can't feel it. Don't worry about it. Just leave it alone. But I do need to go get that stitched up. This is a thing that's important, is like who helps you take your gloves off is part of your team. Like this is kind of grunt work. So usually the little kids are the ones taking your gloves off, but when Turkiet, this legend of the golden age, is helping take the gross, disgusting, Vaseline-soaked, wet tape that's like melted and icky, when he's helping take that off, it's a very sweet, like, you are my fighter, we are one of a team kind of thing. That's a very nice gesture to me. I find those very important gestures. And the next fight just starts. Like, this is a thing that people don't understand about like Thai Muay Thai. There's none of this like 5-minute walkout, big announcement, whatever, like everyone has to watch as you come out, da da da, and then afterwards everyone has to stand in the middle of the ring and they read the scores and there's a big celebration of who wins. It's not like this. It's this like in, out, in, out. You just get to the next fight. You celebrate, you take your photos, you get out, and the next fight is already in. Like it's very continuous. You want to keep the show going. Look at this beautiful. This is part of the temple. You can see into it. Look at how it's lit. Oh, it's gorgeous. And people will go up on the steps to be able to like see into the ring. Sometimes when there's a really big crowd, there will be people who rent ladders out. So you rent like a 5-step ladder to be able to watch the fights, to like look from beyond. People will just lay their mats down, and then these fights last so long, they'll just lay down and sleep. There was a little kid sleeping next to us the entire time we were there. It was actually kind of cold up in Asan. This is in February, and it was all right. It was like moderately cool, but then when it hit like 11 p.m., it got so cold. I was already in my fight clothes, and I was like wrapping myself in my towel. It was so cold, and all these kids had their like thick hoodies on. Stu's in a sweater. Like it's cold up there. So my opponent had just come through and we said hello to each other, and Kevin is like, you need to get her name, because I thought that I had her wrong name. I didn't have her name wrong. I just found a video that wasn't her, of someone else named Phetnamwan, but I had the gym name wrong. So Phetnamwan is her name, and I'm asking Turkey what's her gym name, and he's like, I don't know. Jenny, good. So I'm trying to get her gym name, and he doesn't know, so he's like, we'll go ask later. So I was gonna have to find her in the crowd later and ask her what her gym name was and how much she weighed, but I had to go get stitches first. So Turkey's cousin, I think, took me by the hand and took me over to the ring doctor, and I'm right next to the ring. Like, they're still watching the fights in the ring. This second doctor is helping me take my gloves off, or my wraps off, and this other fight is happening. This is my same referee. He's so on it. This one guy got counted, and then the other guy got knocked out off of the count. What's so incredible is he catches the guy's head like it never hits the ground. This is so impressive, not only because he's been on the ring for like 3 hours and he's so alert that he can catch the fighter before he hits the ground, but because the other guy had just been counted, he's watching the other guy and catches the one that gets knocked out. Like, Thai refs are just so good. Like, they're so on it. And this guy especially, having worked the entire night, and I think he stayed in the ring after this. So this woman with the mask on is Turkey's cousin, and this lady next to me was asking all these questions to reassure me. The doctor had asked, do you speak Thai? And I said yes. So she started telling me everything she was gonna do. She's like, I'm gonna inject this with an anesthetic, which normally I don't get anesthetic when they give me stitches in my face. It also did not help. It did nothing for the pain. It was only 3 stitches, so it went pretty fast, but stitches in the shin hurt a lot. And this lady next to me was being so sweet. She would look over and she'd ask the doctor, how many stitches is that? It was just 1, 2, and 3. But she would hear from the doctor. The doctor's like, that was the 2nd stitch. And then she would pat me on the hand. She's go, that's 2. She was like assuring me as it was happening. And I was just trying to like distract myself and watch the fights, because when the needle's going through to like bind the 2 sides of the skin, it's unbelievably painful. But when the thread is going, it's not that bad. It's being lit by a phone, just like by a flashlight on a phone. In Chiang Mai, I got a lot of stitches on the pool table, because the pool table's got these lights directly over it. Ring doctors are really good. I've had one experience of a ring doctor who was like Doogie Howser. He was like 14 years old. He didn't have a razor or scissors to cut my hair. I got cut and he had to cut my hair, and he used like a box cutter. That was in Trot. It was the only time I've ever been like, I don't know who this doctor is. This is not very good. Ring doctors are very good. These stitches that this woman gave me were quite good. She worked really fast, which I really appreciate, because again, me saying I don't normally get the anesthetic, your adrenaline is still going when you first get out of the ring, and so that helps a lot with the pain. If you have to wait a really long time, if there's a lot of prep, if you have to wait in line, because sometimes both fighters get cut and then you have to be like the second one and your adrenaline wears off, that's really painful. That really sucks. I have gotten my shin stitched at a hospital before, that anesthetic worked. Like, maybe she just missed the nerve or something doing it right here ringside. I don't know why it didn't work. Maybe she didn't wait long enough. I have no idea. This anesthetic did absolutely nothing. But again, it was pretty fast. Like, she just kind of did the 3 and we were done. She was asking if I spoke Thai so that she could let me know what each step was and so that she could give me the aftercare. She wants me to keep these in for 10 days. And you don't want it to touch water for the first 48 hours. This is hard when you want to shower, especially if it's up in your hair and you want to wash your hair. You can't do that with stitches. You need to keep them dry.
Got your phone?
So this is Kevin and me getting ready to leave. So we're packing up all of our stuff and we're just gonna move back out. You can see all of the little things that the kids were playing on have been taken off of the hooks. They're just empty hooks now. This kid was swinging one and doing like boxing slips on it. It's lead, like it's strong metal, and he was like slipping it, which was really cool. The stage show is done. I turned to tell Kevin, I'm like, we outlasted the dancers. And you can see it's just quieting down. This is at like 1:30 in the morning now. I fought at about 1. 1 a.m., still people there watching the fights. There's still probably like 10 fights after me. And you can see just this kind of like quieted down parking lot feel, but with the whole like festivities still kind of around everything. And as you're walking out, people will shout at you and they're like, good, 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 like gang, gang. It's very sweet. People are always very enthusiastic. Even if you lose, honestly, they're like very excited. I was the only Westerner on this show, so I stood out a lot. Extra lucky that I won and that I beat someone bigger than me, so they're very excited about it. And then again, like the parking, because we came late, even though it hadn't started yet, we came late. The parking was just all the way down the outside of the street. So I'm gonna start filming my post-fight update. Kevin's just getting a little bit of the atmosphere around. You can see into the temple shrine there. These are like food vendors.
We're in Buriram. This was another fight set up.
It's my post-fight update. I get Mickey Mouse voice when I have to talk loud. My voice gets really high. Just a sleepy, sleepy little road, and then we drive home through like black, dark fields. Fight 280.
Howdy. We are walking away from fight 280. Made it to 280, which is amazing. We're in Buriram. This was another fight set up by Turkyet, which is awesome. Turkyet is a golden age fighter. We have him in the Muay Thai Library. He's wonderful. And so we fought for him right before New Year's and fighting for him again, which is really nice, like pace. So festival fights are my fucking favorite. I love festival fights and I'm so happy to be back doing them, but they're absolute chaos also. Like, you get there and they don't start when they say they're gonna start, and then they like mix it around, and I was fight number 22 on this list. And so we came late because I was gonna be 22. So like, you show up at 10 o'clock even though they say it's gonna be 7 o'clock, and then they actually start at 10 o'clock. So you just wait. It's a wait game. So my opponent also was not who they said it was gonna be. She was not the size or the person that they said it was gonna be. So I'm gonna say her name so that I can remember it, because it's not what they had said it was gonna be. Her name is Phetnamwan. Oh no.
You forget the gym, baby?
Yo cha. Damn. Phetnamwan Yo Cha Chai. There we go. And she was about 55 kilos, and I won on points, which I'm happy about. It was not an easy fight, but I'm happy about some of the things that I did in it. I feel like because of the way that we were matched up, I was able to work on some things that I actually have not been able to work on for years and years and years when people are so much bigger than me. I'm getting to the point now where I can kind of like bring things into the fight that for the longest time, with my opponents being so much bigger than me, I just literally couldn't even bring them into the fight. So yesterday we filmed for the Muay Thai Library with Tong Chai, Tor Silichai, and he and his Ajahn Met Prik, who's also in the Muay Thai Library, are all about these fucking amazing leg kicks. And while the leg kicks I was throwing are not necessarily the same as them or of Takrolek, who will be in the Muay Thai Library very soon. Like these amazing leg kickers, I'm throwing them, which means when I get comfortable throwing them and they start entering in and I'm like, I want to do this and I do it, then I can start bringing in the technique, which is really incredible. So fight 280, rambling, win points, and we'll be heading back to Pattaya soon. So thank you guys, everyone who supports me. Thank you to my patrons who make all of this possible. I got 3 stitches in my shin, so add to my stitch count, but they're not in my face. They're in the other shin, so I'm giving my right shin a rest. I think that one's had about 12 stitches in it.
Maybe.
And the one on my left is getting it. Stitches in the shin hurt a lot, actually.